Hello, sir. Next page is unscrambling the statistical message. Sooner or later, our retirement discussion arrive at the cut issues, money, and out come the horror stories about pension and medical insurance that are either inadequate or non-existent stories about people who enter the ranks of retired in a financial condition that range from a barely adequate existence to dog food poverty. Often these stories are true, but it's important to remember that static change. For example, prior to 1984, the U.S. Department of Labor gave these frightening statistics today of every 100 people who reach age 65, only 2 are financially independent. Only two. This report is in 1984, not this time. Okay, just listen carefully. I'm talking about 1984, not at 225. Okay. Only 2 are financial independent, 23 must continue working, and 75 must depend on friend, charity, or relative of every 100 Americans reaching age 65 today. A horrifying 96 are flat broke. Although these statistics were true on one time, they are now absolute. However, they are still being cited by people who have an axe to grind or a product to sell. Picking up mercury between your finger would be easier than trying to sort out the real truth behind some economic statistics, even when the statistics are correct. Those who handle and report the statistics have a tendency toward selectively presenting those which support their own basis and purpose. Those who want to reduce social security try to prove that people drawing social security are affluent. Those who want to preserve social security try to prove that retirees are on the edge of poverty. The truth is somewhere in between. Compare the following example. An article in Money Guide 1985 stated that of the 1794 retirees recently survived by the Teacher Insurance and Annuity Association, 92% said they were satisfied with retirement. A closer look at the survey revealed that the people who said they did the most preparation of retirement also were the most content and financially secure. From the Wall Street Journal of December 19, 1985 come these statements. 15 years ago, 1/4 of age Americans lived in poverty. With the rate of the general population today, the poverty rate for the elder has been held at 12.4% last year. It was lower for them than the 14.4% for American overall. This is 1985 data, okay, not at 2025. Okay, just clear it. This is 1985. Okay. Another article in the Wall Street Journal of December 26, 1985 throw a little more light on the rather broad financial picture of retired people. Now I am now again saying that's it. This one is 26 December 1985. Okay, data. Without social security, more than half of the elderly would have income below the poverty level, while many elderly indeed are comfortable. Poverty is perceived among the 6.2 million older Americans who rely on social security for 90% or more of their income. Not only in the retirement picture blurry, but it is continually change in another Wall Street Journal article, August 26, 1987, George Grigory, yes, Grigory Strichuk writes about pension benefits other the Social Security. Already the number of Americans with pension coverage is shrinking after climbing steadily for 30 years. In 1981, more than 45% of American workers were covered by retirement plan, up from just 22% in 1950. But the 1985, the most recent year of which figure are available, the percentage had slipped to 43%. Okay. According to the Employee Benefit Research Institute of Washington, D.C. This means that to a statis- this means that to a statistician who look at nothing but numbers, Social Security gives an illusion of eternally affluence that is not necessarily true. Many of these Social Security recipients who are thrown over the statistically fence into a greener pursuit are still on the edge of poverty. Social Security, even though it pushes you out of poverty category, does not make you rich. Does not make you rich. Other data and my own direct observations show that there are many affluent seniors, and between the affluent and those on the edge of poverty, there are many levels of comfort or discomfort. But just what the percentage are depend on the definition you use, the data base you select, and how you slice the data. Whatever you bias is, you can support is with statistics. But one thing seems certain: the financial condition of the elderly is improving. And for the purpose of this book and this video, the essential issue is that no matter what the statistics say, you can design your own financial fad. The sooner you start, the better the result. Without a doubt, good planning at any age will be some benefit, but to assure yourself financial secure later years, it is necessary to start planning early in your career. The need to careful planning is more apparent than ever when you consider that you are likely to live after retirement as many years as you did before you began working. Now let's see if we can make some sense out of economic reality. Thank you, sir.